Welcome viewers to this session on qualitative analysis of cations, and today we will be dealing with the qualitative analysis of group 3 cations, and particularly we will be doing the analysis and confirmatory tests for the ferric ions and aluminum ions. Though there are other ions also in this group about which you will study later, today we will be focusing our attention on aluminum ions and ferric ions and the test we perform to confirm their presence in the given salt or a mixture of salts. The cations of group 3 are precipitated by adding ammonium hydroxide solution in the presence of solid ammonium chloride as the reagent. And what happens when we add first of all ammonium chloride solid and then dropwise ammonium hydroxide, we get the precipitates of the cations as their hydroxides. Suppose ferric chloride is present in the salt, then this will react with the reagent we have used to give a precipitate of ferric hydroxide, which is brown in color. But if suppose aluminum ions are present in the solution, then when we add this reagent, that is ammonium chloride solid followed by dropwise addition of ammonium hydroxide, then we get a white precipitate of aluminum hydroxide. So, you can see that there is a difference in the colors of the hydroxides of the two cations. That gives us an initial hint that which of the two cations are present in the given salt, which may be known to us or which may not be known to us. So, when we get these hydroxides, basically then we dissolve them in dilute hydrochloric acid and get their chlorides to further perform the confirmatory tests. So, let us proceed with this introduction that how to actually do this analysis in the laboratory. Here we have with us two salts of group 3 cations. One is here this ferric chloride we have taken. We are knowing that this is a ferric chloride salt. We have deliberately taken this salt, and another salt is now we have here salt of aluminum cations, which is aluminum sulphate. Suppose you do not have ferric salt present in the laboratory or you have just ferrous salts there. So, in that case the procedure of the test will be little different, or if we do not know even what is there in the given salt, if it is an unknown salt, then we have to proceed. One way is to proceed either by performing group 1 test cations for that and then followed by a group 2 test, and if both of them are absent, then we proceed for the test of the group 3 ions. But we are omitting those two steps, as we know that we are dealing today with the known salts, and these are salts of ferric ions and aluminum ions. In case what I was telling you is the salt given is of ferrous cations, then we have to oxidize the ferrous ions to the ferric ions to actually give us the confirmatory test. So, what do we do in that case? As you can see here, we have a spirit lamp and a matchbox here and concentrated nitric acid also here with me. Then when that salt solution of ferrous ions, please mind the difference, we are having then salt of ferrous ion like ferrous sulphate, then we have to oxidize those ferrous ions to ferric ions. For that we take the salt solution and add a few drops of concentrated nitric acid to that, an oxidation reaction taking place and the ferrous ions get oxidized to ferric ions. Now, start performing the test for these two cations, that is ferric ions and aluminum ions. For that I am taking this test tube here. I will be taking this little amount of ferric salt here with the help of a spatula, adding this to the test tube here, and I will make an aqueous solution of this salt by adding distilled water to it by gently shaking. Now, you can see this is already little brownish in color, because this is the color of the original salt here, which is brown in color. You can see here it is getting dissolved slowly. I can add little more water so that there is no solid lump present there. You can see it has completely dissolved. So, what I have to do now, I have to do is the test for these ferric ions, though I know that ferric ions are present, but to confirm the presence we have to first add ammonium chloride solid here. I am adding from this bottle with the help of a spatula some amount of ammonium chloride salt. And the amount of ammonium chloride should be sufficient, it should not be less or very small, because in that case it will lead to problems in the precipitation. So, I am just keeping this aside, and then with the help of this dropper I will add few drops of ammonium hydroxide to this solution. I have ammonium hydroxide here, solution already with me, and you can see here, kindly note how the color is changing here. I am adding drop by drop this ammonium hydroxide and shaking this test tube. 2-3 more drops. You can see now a precipitate which is brown in color is formed, though the color of original salt was also brown, but this is dark brown, and you can clearly see that there is a precipitate of brown colored formed. What is this precipitate? This is a precipitate of ferric hydroxide, you can see, and even if we have started with the ferrous salt and oxidized to ferric ions and then have done the same process, we would have finally got this ferric hydroxide precipitate. Now, it is a time to filter this ferric hydroxide precipitate. I have already this arrangement for filtration ready with me, a funnel fitted with a filter paper already wetted with water, and now I will gently pour this precipitate and filter this. You can see here a brown precipitate has settled on the filter paper and there is a clear filtrate in the test tube. Now, we have got with us the brown precipitate of ferric hydroxide in this filter paper, and we will now take this ferric hydroxide precipitate and do the confirmatory test for the ferric ions. For that, I have to take this precipitate out with the help of this spatula. I am taking this out with the help of this spatula and transferring this to another test tube like this, and now I will dissolve this brown precipitate of ferric hydroxide in dilute hydrochloric acid to get a solution of ferric chloride, and this is the bottle of dilute hydrochloric acid. With the help of another dropper, now I will take few drops of dilute hydrochloric acid, and you can see that I am adding this drop wise to dissolve this precipitate, and I will get back a solution of ferric chloride with me, clear liquid. You can see here a clear liquid which is the solution of ferric chloride here, which has been formed from the addition of dilute hydrochloric acid to the ferric hydroxide precipitate. And with this hydrochloric addition, we have got the solution of ferric chloride here, on which we are now performing the further confirmatory tests. I will divide this solution into two parts. See, I will take very small amounts. I have now divided this solution of ferric chloride into two parts, and to the first part I will add a solution of potassium ferrocyanide available with me here, Remember that you do not have to mix the droppers, and I will use separate droppers for all the reagents. Please note the color changes here. I am adding small amounts drop wise to this test tube. I think 2 drops or just even a single drop has been quite enough to give me this blue color, very beautiful dark blue color, which is the color of Prussian blue, which we call Prussian blue test also at times. And this reagent, once we have added, we have got as you can see in the equation given on the screen, that potassium ferrocyanide K4 FeCN6 has given us now Fe3 FeCN6. This is ferric ferrocyanide. So, this is Prussian blue. I am just keeping this here. So, this was first part of the confirmatory test for ferric ions, and to the second part now, which we have already taken in the another test tube, we will be adding potassium thiocyanide solution with the help of a separate dropper, and see the color change again. Very beautiful colored chemistry you will enjoy today. Blood red color just by the addition of single drop of potassium sulfocyanate or thiocyanate, you can say. So, 2 beautiful color changes indicate that the ferric ions presence has been confirmed, and you can see the equation for that also on the screen. This complex, red colored complex has been formed, which confirms the presence of ferric ions, and here also this blue colored complex has been formed, which confirms the presence of ferric ions again. Now, we will switch over to the second part of this program, that is the testing for the second cation we have, that is testing for the aluminum ions. Again we will take clean test tubes here and add some aluminum salt, which is aluminum sulphate we have taken here with the help of a spatula, to this test tube, and make an aqueous solution of this salt by adding distilled water to it, adding slowly some amount and shaking it clearly to get a clear solution. I will shake little more to get a clear solution, and then add a little more water, because some salt I can still see at the bottom, 1 or 2 drops like this. Now, a clear solution has been obtained, and again we will add now group reagent to this solution. What is that? Again some amount of ammonium chloride from this bottle with the help of a spatula, solid ammonium chloride we are adding. Little more I will add, so that the amount is sufficient here. And once it has completely dissolved, then we will add ammonium hydroxide dropwise again. From this bottle containing ammonium hydroxide, I am transferring few drops of ammonium hydroxide to this solution of aluminum salt containing aluminum ions, and see what color changes or if any other changes we are able to note down. It has started appearing a white gelatinous precipitate, you can see white gelatinous precipitate clearly becoming visible as I add more and more amount of ammonium hydroxide here. Dropwise again you can see here like this. I will shake it completely so that it mixes well till it reaches the bottom of the test tube. I feel like that I should add some more so that the further tests and the precipitates are good in amount, because we have to filter this, the precipitate obtained which is white in color, but we do not have to keep adding in the way. If we add excess of ammonium hydroxide, then what will happen, this precipitate will get dissolved. So, you have to add the optimum amount and then filter this white gelatinous precipitate which has been obtained. I will use another setup here. A funnel with a filter paper fitted is already there with me. Take a clean test tube here, put that funnel on that, and then filter this test tube here and filter the solution from this test tube here like this. You can see here again this is getting filtered. Slowly dropwise clear filtrate is coming in the test tube down, here you can see, and just in a minute we will be able to get white gelatinous precipitate of aluminum hydroxide now on the filter paper. Meanwhile, I will take another test tube which is ready here with me, dry and clean, and we will transfer this aluminum hydroxide precipitate into this clean test tube here with the help of another clean spatula I have here. Still little more time it will take to settle down, and then it is almost ready for transfer. You can see here I am transferring this gelatinous precipitate of aluminum hydroxide from the filter paper to another test tube. And again we have to dissolve this white gelatinous precipitate of aluminum hydroxide now with the help of dilute hydrochloric acid, and this will give us aluminum chloride which is soluble, and now you can see it will form a clear solution here, and we have now aluminum chloride present with us. You can see here clear solution of aluminum chloride formed from aluminum hydroxide on addition of dilute hydrochloric acid. I will take another test tube, divide this aluminum chloride solution into two parts again. Almost equal division you can say, or little more on this side. I will keep this second part aside, and with this first part I will do the confirmatory test. Now we have aluminum chloride present in these two test tubes, and the second portion I am keeping on this side for the second test, and to the first portion we will be adding sodium hydroxide solution which is available with me here. Little amount of dilute sodium hydroxide, and see what happens here. Again you can see white precipitate has formed here. This white precipitate is that of sodium aluminate. Sodium aluminate you can see here, and if we add little more to this, let us see what happens. It has started dissolving because excess of sodium hydroxide will dissolve this sodium aluminate. So, you have to be very careful in adding the amounts to get the correct results. Take the second portion we have kept for this second test here. This was solution of aluminum chloride, solution of aluminum chloride you can see here, and now we will add to this blue litmus solution. just a drop should be enough. So, please see the color change, blue litmus is being added here, and you see the color change, it has changed to red. Why? Can you give me the reason for this? This is because aluminum chloride, being acidic in nature, turns the color of blue litmus to the red color. Now, to this red colored solution, we will add a few drops of ammonium hydroxide solution with the help of a dropper, and you see what is happening in this test tube. The color is changing blue. I will add some more drops. And you see here now, if we closely see, this blue color is now there due to the presence of ammonium hydroxide, and the solution in this range or this area has become alkaline, and the blue color of the litmus has been restored, and a sort of blue lake has been formed here because of addition of ammonium hydroxide to this red colored solution of aluminum hydroxide, and this is called the lake test, and this confirms again the presence of aluminum ions. I will just keep this test tube here, and now let us recapitulate what we have done today. Now, we have done confirmatory test for these two cations. For ferric ions, we have done Prussian blue test and the test with potassium thiocyanate, which has given us red colored solution, and the Prussian blue color is of course blue in color. And for aluminum cations, we had done again two tests, test by dissolving that in sodium hydroxide solution, which gives us a white precipitate, and sodium aluminate has formed in that case. And in the second test for that aluminum ions, we have performed the lake test, where you can say that blue colored lake has appeared on the top part of the solution. We hope that you have enjoyed today's program, where we have performed So, please ponder over these questions and discuss these with your teacher or the peers. Thank you for watching this program.